Hello and welcome back to Nuzlocke Vlogs, where I play Pokemon, and I do a Nuzlocke, and I talk about my life and what's going on. Hold on, wait. Aren't you the one who gives me, like, the ticket in the National Dex, or is that Professor Oak? Uh, so what's going on with me? Well, I've been watching a lot of Batman the Animated Series, because I'm planning to make a video on that. And I am through watching Batman the Animated Series, but I still have to do the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. Yay. I mean, it's fine. It's a decent show. But I do remember it being kind of worse and having a lot of kind of so-so episodes. But I mean, it's only 24 episodes. Also, they changed a lot of the villain designs, and I don't think they look as well. I really like the art style for Batman the Animated Series. It has a more grounded, realistic look than a lot of superhero cartoons. Um, but it's fine. Also, tonight, I watched through a couple episodes, wrote them up, and I watched the two movies based on the animated series. There's a third one based on New Adventures of Batman and Robin. But anyway, I watched through Mask of the Phantasm, and that's a decent movie. I kind of think it's overrated. I think, like, people talk about how it is the absolute best Batman movie, and I think it's just kind of average. Like, Bruce has a really good character arc in the movie. He's really well written, but also I didn't buy the romance that well between him and Andrea. And I also watched Sub-Zero, which is just kind of okay. Like, it's nice at the end with Batman. Uh, oh, you fucker. With, like, where it just becomes, like, going in to save Nora and later Mr. Freeze. Like, that's nice. And I like the ending of. Well, I have mixed feelings on whether or not Nora should have been saved, but if you are going to save her, it is nice to have that scene at the end of Victor watching it before walking off into the snow to never be seen again, except I do know there is an episode of Batman the Animated Series where he appears and, like, becomes a decapitated head spider robot and tries to nuke Gotham. It's been a while since I don't remember it that well, and these fucking wild Pokemon. Um, but anyway, like, Mr. Freeze is weird because they have this phenomenal episode with Mr. Freeze at the start of the show. One of the first episodes wins them an Emmy, and then they don't do him again for years until one of the final episodes of the second season. And then immediately after that, they get a Mr. Freeze movie, and one of the first episodes of New Adventures of Batman and Robin features Mr. Wait, you're Mr. Pokemon. Wait, did I already get the fucking Aqua ticket off screen? Hold on. Motherfucker, I got it off screen because I didn't want to have to waste time in this episode getting it, and then I forgot about it. But anyway, in the second, I forgot about this episode. Why is my encoding bad? I don't know. I get that error, encoding overload, and continue turning down video settings, but my video settings are already pretty shitty. And I don't want to get worse, but, like, yeah, it'll pop up and say that's lagging, and I don't know how bad that turns out. I did, like, once try and record a video, and it was just completely ruined by encoder settings, but these are just flashes instead of. It'll be fine. Anyway, one of the final episodes of Batman the Animated Series. Oh, you get the National Pokedex from Professor Oak here, and you get the SS ticket from Elm in his house. That's what I was remembering wrong. One of the last episodes of Batman the Animated Series is the one about Walt Disney trying to commit genocide, and I forgot that episode existed. There's an episode where Walt Disney tries to commit genocide in Batman the Animated Series. It's like the second to last episode. And for context, he isn't named Walt Disney, but he's a theme park operator who wants to build a City of Tomorrow, so fucking Epcot. And he looks pretty similar to Walt Disney, even has the fucking mustache. And also, his plan is to commit genocide. He wants to freeze the planet, and he has Mr. Freeze, like cryogenically freeze his head for him, and I'm just gonna beat up all these trainers on the ferry. You're not getting to fucking Kanto. And I did. It is a nice thing that after you beat the Elite Four in this game, you start to get Hoenn and Sinnoh Pokemon and can actually catch them. And there's actually a lot more Pokemon than you would think that you can now get after you've beat the Elite Four. And I've mapped it out. I've gone through. I've found out where you can get all the Pokemon, where are the most optimal ways to do this. Like, the most optimal thing, by the way, is to catch a Diglett in Vermilion. So I'm going to catch a Diglett in Vermilion because that is more efficient than getting a Diglett anywhere else. Because the other things I can get in Vermilion are a Surf Encounter, or I can get a Surf Encounter or a Wurmple or a Diglett, but I can get a Wurmple somewhere else, and I can get that Surf Encounter somewhere else. So I'm going to get the Diglett, because that opens Diglett's Cave, which you can actually get Makuhita and Absol in. And maybe I want one of them. I don't know. But yeah, Walt Disney, like, tries to commit genocide in an episode of Batman the Animated Series. He is the most evil in terms of attempted kill count, is Walt Disney. Dang, the Warner Brothers Disney rivalry is really, really serious sometimes. And Kanto shouldn't be too hard. None of the trainers, except the gym leaders, I'm pretty sure, are as strong as Lance, and I beat Lance. Lost some Pokemon fighting Lance, but I beat Lance. And as you can see, I've got my Ursaring and Kingdra out of the box that I'm training up to fill out my party, and I don't know what my 6th will be. There's a lot of Pokemon I can catch in Kanto. Why are these little kids, like, stronger than most of the trainers in this country? Whatever. What else? So also this week, I've started work on next year's Homestuck video essay. The April 13th one. Because here's a little foreshadowing. What I'm going to do for next year's 413 video essay is I am going to talk about the Homestuck rewritten endings, because there's a bunch of fan projects that try and rewrite the ending of Homestuck, like think, oh, I can do better than this. And they're hit or miss. They're very hit or miss. Wait, is this not my bed? How do I use my bed? I want to sleep. I want to take a nap. Whatever. So far, I have read 2 and started the 3rd one, reading Homestuck endings. I've read through the Crow Strider AU, and I thought, man, this was okay. It was very okay. It's not the masterpiece better than the original Homestuck that everyone told me it was, but it was fine. It's actually making me appreciate the epilogues and Andrew Hussey's writing philosophy of meat and candy, because, I mean, it is all candy and fluff, and, like, well, the first thing about Crow Strider is that they don't attempt to do the voices, but that is such a core part of Homestuck's style, and what makes it Homestuck is how characters are written and how they have different methods of speaking, and that gets across so much characterization. And beyond that, they have different grammars and personalities that come through, and none of it in the Crow Strider AU. And that is the biggest turn-off of it, that it's this Homestuck fan comic, and a lot of time it just does not feel like Homestuck. And the other thing, like, Homestuck is a very mean story, and I like it, but it's a very cynical comic where a lot of bad things happen, and often the main characters are nice to each other. Like, they'll snap at each other and make fun of each other and be mean. And there really isn't that in Crow Strider. It feels too nice, too, like, ironed out. But there's a clear love for the characters of the comic. It gives focus to a lot of characters who were underdeveloped in the comic, like the fusion sprites. And Nana Sprite is the character who becomes one of the hearts of that story and gets really well developed, and she really is not in the original Homestuck, and that's fine. I enjoyed it. Um, and there is some moments of just spectacular writing. I like early on. There's this bit about Jade having I've talked about the lag on my keyboard in the past, about Jade having trauma from having to taxidermy her grandfather's corpse, and they do a good scene with that. And I don't know. I think Crow Strider AU is the epitome of fine. It is the most okayest. It is all candy, but I have a feeling it's gonna end up being one of the better things that I read. It's not for me. I understand why people like it, and it's fine. It's just fine. But I do, from what I know about some of the other things on my list of, oh, I should have checked what Pokemon I was switching into. I just thought it would be another, what the fuck? You're not using Fire Attack on my Pokemon who is quad weak to fire? This trainer is dumb. He should be thrown overboard. A thing I noticed in Crow Strider, and I know it becomes more apparent in a lot of the other things I'm going to have to read, is a sort of obsession with characters completing their world quest and becoming God tier. And honestly, I don't care about any of that, and it is a worrying sign how many of them is like, okay, I'm gonna make Homestuck better, and how I'm gonna make it better is Karkat is gonna go God tier. Okay, but you have to write a story around it. Like, that in and of itself isn't really making the story better or being a story. It's just a thing that happens. You need to have the dramatic weight behind it. And in Crow Strider, every single character goes God tier, except Calliope, I'm pretty sure. And most of it just doesn't really result in anything or in the characters being further developed. Because with Crow Strider's decision to massively balloon the cast, like, even with its long length, it still underdevelops and doesn't go to give much screen time to most of these characters. But like, I don't feel anything about every single troll being brought back as a god in that, because like, God tier in and of itself, it's just a power boost. It isn't the climax character reaching the apex of their story that some fans think it is. Like, and we see that, like, God tier, it's a big dramatic, like, capper for Jane's arc in the first half of the comic, but Jane's the only one who that really, or excuse me, Jade. I always know who I'm talking about, but Homestuck features characters who look similar who are named Jade, Jake, and Jane, and I will misspeak constantly. I'm talking about that. Like, Jade going God tier, big part of her arc, very good scene, because it gives her the power to get over her issues in the first half of the comic with being sort of unsure what to do and feeling like a load, with her saving everyone and being a hero using this newfound power. Like, her going God tier isn't her character arc, it's what it allows her to do. John is able to do really good stuff and have a good character arc because he goes God tier, but him going God tier, that's just kind of a middle bit of his arc. I would say Dave and Rose and any of the nobles going God tier doesn't really do anything. It just happens because they needed a power boost for what's going forward, even though powers are nebulous. I'm gonna blow my nose. Like, I don't think going God tier really matters that much. And Trezzy has one of arguably the best written character arcs, most clearly defined arcs in the entire comic. Never goes God tier. Doesn't need to go God tier. I don't remember where their little girl is hiding. And I have to find her to get to Vermilion so I can catch that Diglett. If I was an annoying video game NPC, where would I be? And the other thing is world quests, where most of the world quests get abandoned, and people are like, well, this is unresolved, and these character arcs aren't finished because, like Rose didn't play the rain. the world quests don't fucking matter. They they are parts of the characters' arcs, but that's not like the world quests are not the arcs. It's not about them beating these video game levels. It's about them growing as people, and maybe that's tied to them. Like John is the one person where his world quest actually ends up mattering. I'm pulling up a walkthrough. Um, John is the one who completes his quest. He like plays the wind. He frees the land of wind from the shade. Gets rid of all the oil, and that's cool. That's awesome. But it's part of like him mastering his powers and saving his friends, which is what allows him to do the good stuff in the ending that makes it wonderful. Where is the captain? It says little girls with the captain, but I don't know where the captain is. Like, but Rose's arc is about defying the game and forging her own path. Dave's arc is connected to like finding the sword and the stone in his land, but how that gets resolved is in the rooftop fight against the Jacks. Jade completes her world quest mostly off screen because like her world quest wasn't part. Like all the trolls completed their world quest, but they still had development. Vriska was introduced as God tier, but she still has most of her development after that. Like I don't care about people going God tier, and I don't care about world quests. And I do know that I know I have Act 8, Double Death of the Author, and Act Omega on my list, and I know I've heard that they deal with world quests. And oh, I need to find this guy's. Well, I should have read the walkthrough closer. Need to find this guy's friend and get him to go on duty. So then it'll let me go into the engine room where the small child is playing, because that's what children love to do. All the houses in this game have a fucking Nintendo Wii, and I complain about product placement, but like this is 2008. That is accurate. It was a very good selling console, especially because we aren't seeing hardcore gamers. This is like a cruise ship. Yeah, that you're appealing to elderly people, so have a fucking Wii. And the other comic they finished reading was called Taking Back. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. You're weak. That's fine. I was scared for a second. The other comic I finished reading was called Taking Back Comic. Yeah. Taking Back Canon. And it was a response to Homestuck 2. And it was, oh god, it was terrible. It was the worst fucking Homestuck comic. And also, it didn't have panels. Actually deleted half of the panels. So I can't really comment on the art because it's gone. You got rid of the art. Like Crow Strider, it's not the Homestuck art style, but the author has a style that's close enough to the Homestuck art style, but is more stylized and is at least consistent. Like I like how Crow Strider looks. I'm pretending to do the Homestuck style, but also I deleted half of the panels by accident. And like the other thing is that is just fully that is a comic that existed because of spite, and turns out making things. I'm just gonna turn down my fucking frame rate, see if that helps. If I go 2 instead of 4, nope, still encoding overload. So fuck it. Target to FPS 4. Okay, let's go beat up the little girl. Where are you in the engine? Wait, why is there another little girl in the engine? What's it with little girls and engines? But yeah, it's just like, it starts with a bunch of people saying, man, I fucking hated Homestuck 2. I made this comic out of spite. Because we all know the best fuel for good art is spite. It's like disliking a thing, so you make a thing about why it sucks. That is, I mean, I made a fucking 2.5 hour video essay on a movie I hated, so I have no room to talk. But like, that's different than making a fucking comment, a fucking comic. Like, you know. And it's like, it's just a lot of moments. They're just like, hey, remember this scene from, like, it starts by saying, no fascist Jane, no dog dick, and no Yiffy fucking Longstocking. Even though Yiffy is the best fucking character. Eat shit. Yiffy good. I like Yiffy. Is there vomit in here? There better be vomit in here. Empty! Stupid captain getting, like, stomach medicine. Stop bothering the captain. He's gonna crash into a light. Why did I let her run away? Ah, you suck, you captain. You should have stopped her. It's like Jane starts to say her fascist rhetoric, and then Terezi's like, actually, that would be bad for society. You know, as Terezi says in Terezi's voice. And Jane's like, oh, gee golly, you're right. Let's do a completely different system of governance. Wouldn't that have been bad? And, like, Jade talks about, I think I'm going to have kids direct biology because the alternative would be bad. Oh, by the way, speaking of biology, actually the troll, like, breeding thing, that won't actually be a problem, we have decided. Because, like, they can just choose to not have as many kids. Like, there will be no societal problems in this comic, unlike the original, and that ends. Because it got canceled after 120 pages. And it was thankfully short because it... And I say thankfully because, man, it was just fucking bad. Anyway, that was Taking Back Canon. It was bad. I've started reading Mr. Tambourine Man, which is another Homestuck fan ending. And this one is... Hold on, I gotta blow my nose again. I don't think I'm getting sick. I think it's just fucking allergies because I was outside a lot today. Mr. Tambourine Man, which is weird. Its premise is that because of all of his retconning, John is sort of out of sync with reality and can't go through the ending door at the end of Homestuck. And it's just him bouncing around different scenes in the comic, talking to his friends. And at the part I've reached, he's decided he's learned about Orange Guy. He's gonna go beat up Orange Guy and see if maybe Orange Guy can help him. And that sounds like, wow, this is going to be really interesting and meta, which was a core part of Homestuck. A lot of people didn't like that core part of Homestuck, but it was a core part of Homestuck that I really liked. And I like meta stuff because, I like Homestuck. So maybe that'll be good. But I'm enjoying this one a lot more because it's just focusing on a single character instead of a whole army of them. Like, what's that fucking Tumblr post? Like, it's always weird when Homestuck fanfics try and fit in all the trolls. Like, why the fuck is Aridin driving the bus? Like, remember that post? I've seen it before. Okay, give me my Diglett. Wait, hold on. No, don't give me a Diglett yet. Because I need to put the right Pokemon out front so I don't accidentally kill it. Or am I so over-leveled? I remember that the Kanto Pokemon in this, like, region are just so low-leveled. I mean, I guess you can just spam Ultra Balls, but, like, weakening them kind of sucks. There we go. Don't be a Shuckle. Don't be a fucking Shuckle. Okay, good. Level 32 Diglett. That is... Okay, forget everything I said. That is high level. Catch it in an Ultra Ball. So I can name a Pokemon after it. And I do think my strategy for Kanto is... Oh, are you fucking kidding me? I can't throw balls where you're digging? Well, I'm protecting. I countered. You're countering. So I'm not going to do the gym leaders. I think I'm going to do them all at the end. I'm going to focus on fighting trainers and catching Pokemon first. RoboFan998 is what you're named after, and I'll read that comment in a minute. Let's see. I started taking notes so I remember what to talk about, what my topics of discussion for each vlog are. Let's see. I had to go to a town festival parade and cover it for my reporting job today. And two interesting things happened. First off, like a local church had a float. And their float just fucking sprayed people with water guns. Like, come to our church, we'll fucking shoot you with water guns. So come to our church. We're the water gun church who shoots people with water guns. I thought that was dumb. The other thing is they're playing, because fucking American nationalism is just so fucking big, playing a bunch of patriotic songs like Born in the USA, that really shitty Toby Keith song, America the Beautiful, Born in the USA. Wait, hold on. Born in the USA. Have you listened to the lyrics of that fucking song? And this is like a thing people do constantly. It's a very common thing. But Born in the USA is not a patriotic song. It's I was born in the USA, which is a shitty place to live. I hate this country. It treated me like shit. Like, that's what the fucking song is. It's a song about why America sucks. That's not your fucking patriotic, like, and the Statue of Liberty was singing it, shaking her fist. And now on to the next song. America is a terrible country that abandoned Vietnam veterans. They ended up either in poverty or in prison because the Vietnam War was just pure nationalist. We were tools of an unjust war, and afterwards our nation abandoned us. Yeah, and like I'm gonna hit Saddam with my fists and like bring the red, white, and blue. We're the same song. Like I thought that was dumb. Earlier in the week, I had to report on a candidate visit, and I've been dreading this because I had like this list of questions. I wanted to ask about fucking Gaza. I wanted to ask about the genocide that this candidate had voted in support of. Well, they're an incumbent. The genocide this candidate was funding. And when the time came, and I'm sitting there surrounded by Republicans, I said nothing. I sat there silently and I took my notes. And that's a lesson. It's very easy to be a reporter if you're a coward and don't ask about the genocide. The only problem is you have to live with shame afterwards. I mean, me calling, like, my congresswoman a genocidal bastard who should be tried at The Hague, that's not gonna fucking change your mind, change your policies. I'll get fired and everyone will hate me, but I mean, that's gotta be better than doing fucking nothing when I don't fucking know. And the other thing at that meeting is there's this lady sitting across the table from me while we're waiting for the congresswoman to arrive, and I notice she has like paper, and it's like it's upside down from my perspective. I can kind of read a few words. And I know there's a fucking Magnemite here, isn't there? Hold on, there's a fucking Magnemite, right? I know I can get a Magnemite here. Available Pokemon. Okay, it's a 10% chance, that's why. But anyway, so there's this woman, I can see her papers, and like, blah, 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 blah. Casey Jarms' coverage. So I ask her, hey, what does that say? Oh, it's meeting minutes from the local Republican Party. And then she folds up the paper and puts it away. So the Republicans are discussing my coverage of them. What the fuck are they saying about me? Like, what? Okay, tell me more. What are you saying about me that's ending up in your meeting minutes? What? I'm in your meeting minutes? I want to know more. I do think I saw David Pouch's name, and he was this fucking super far right fucking fascist guy. And I was not. I portrayed him as a fucking violent genocidal lunatic because he said just the fucking worst. He talked about how we need to bring back conversion therapy and how he wants all the trans people to be killed. Like, and I wrote, that's what he said. And apparently the Republicans don't like that coverage because it portrayed their dude as being a fucking asshole. And now I'm going to read off 2 comments, and then I'm going to end this. Is there anything left on my notes? Nope. Reporting's easy if you're a coward, born in the USA, Walt Disney genocide. That's all I got. Oh god, I hope I'm not coming down with anything. Anyway, pulling up the commenters who have had Pokemon. Oh god, has it been 30 minutes? Jesus. The commenters who I have Pokemon named after. Red Jirachi 1, anti-monarchist, thinks Reagan is worse than most DC supervillains, thinks Snow White is mid. Can you get any more based? Yes, I've got more based videos. I've got more based videos planned. Ones that are less cringy electoralism. I'm actually, next December, I'm going to do a video essay. I've gone through a few titles. I think the one I'm going to settle on is the James Cameron of pretentious video essays, and it's just me talking about how much I fucking hate all of my video essays, and how I'm a hack and a fraud who makes video essays that aren't very good. And the other comment, the long, long one, RoboFan998. I'm going to try really hard to format this comment in a way that's coherent and legible, and translate my long, long history and thoughts about Homestuck into a meaningful read, which is the least I can do for an amazing video essay. I read the epilogues when they came out, and they hit me hard. John's death and meat was heart-wrenching because Dirk's narration made the moment heart-wrenching and cemented my anger towards Dirk. I agree. Because Dirk's belittlement of John really highlighted how much he mattered. I agree. And Candy John believing Trezzy, yeah, that's a great scene. Two halves of the story, and two foiled and mirrored each other. The two epilogues complement each other. I'm breezing through this because it's a long comment. Not perfect stories, but as stories with merit that should be engaged with intent and analysis rather than gut reactions. That was my whole point in that video essay. Read twice. I enjoyed reading them twice. I don't know if most people did. The John Roxy reveal is good. Jane's the only one who's really unrealistic. I like Yiffany. Jade Harley was isolated. Yeah, that kind of is why she acts the way she is. I don't know. This is a long, long comment. You can read it now. Yeah, her Dave and Carcat is uncomfortable, but it's understandable for who Jade is, how she's desperate for scraps. I like Yiffany. Yiffany is angry. I like Yiffany. Kanaya has every right to be angry, so does Jade. Toxic Minefield. So much to talk about in that. I made a fucking 3-hour video essay on the epilogues. I know there's a lot to talk about for the fucking epilogues. But unfortunately, I don't have any more time. It's been 32 minutes. I've got to go do some writing, then go to sleep. And why am I so fucking stuffy this episode? And shit, I couldn't think of a title in this one, but I'll have it eventually. Well, bye.